Yes. We are continuing with the project Likkutei Sichos this week. We're going to learn Parshas Mishpotim. Likkutei Sichos Chelek the Sicha this week is Sicha Gimel Dalet. We're going to learn Sicha Dalet. Very geschmack Sicha. Now you say this Sicha. The Rebbe brings out about how we learn how to serve the Eibishter. And it's very, very interesting that the Rebbe takes Inyan in Nigle. The Rebbe asked a question on the Shach that Shach is explaining a Gemara. And the Rebbe takes it and says that we could answer it only al Pirchsides. The Rebbe brings in the Aure, and we're going to see it soon, there are a few places that the Rebbe said that only through Chsides we could understand it, and here we could understand it only through Chsides. From Posuk Mibal Dvorim Iga Shalem learned up the Gemara. There's a Posuk in today's Chumash, by the end of Mishpotim, that Moshe Rabbeinu told the Skenim that he's going up to Shomayim. After the Rebbe gave the Torah on Sinai, Moshe Rabbeinu went up, and he was there for 40 days, and we know that Moshe Rabbeinu was there three times. First time he went up, and the Rebbe told him he should come up, so he told them that Aaron and Hur are staying with you, and whoever has a complaint, whoever has a Torah, whoever has a problem, should come to Aaron and Hur, and they're going to pass him. So what's the Lashon in Chumash? Mi bal dvorim iga shaleim. Whoever has a problem with somebody else, whoever is the Baldvorim, it means whoever is the plaintiff, is the right word? Yeah. Okay. Whoever is the plaintiff should go to Aaron V'chur and they're going to help him. As it's the Gemara learned up in Babekame, as ein is kokin elo letevei atchilo. The Baldvorim teveya, yagish dvor lebalem. When you come to Bezen, and you have a problem, you call somebody to Bezen, so the Gemara says, because it says, mi Baldvorim iga shaleim, who is starting to talk? The guy that is calling the other guy to Bezen. The plaintiff is calling the defendant. Is mefarish the Shach. Is mefarish the Shach. As the main, just to make a point before we go to the Shach, the Shach himself is saying that there's a lot of Pirushim on this. I think it's a one time in all. So I never saw it, not in, I didn't know Mishpotim too much, but in Ebenezer, Yeridei, you never see it. The Shach says there's a lot of Pirushim on that. And now this time I'm going to say my own Pirush. And he brings this Pirush that he's going to say. Very interesting. And also, I'm going to read it now. It's good to know now. The Rebbe brings down in Aure 10, the Sma, in the same Simen, in the same Se'iv that the Shach says, I'm going to say what I decided to say. He says, V'koswolov, Pirusho, Zebekoi, Zebekoi. There's a lot of Pirushim on this, Mibal Dvor Migash, a lot of Pirushim on that. V'kulon emes lidine. Everything is emes. And the Smart says that the Mechaber didn't say what it is. The Mechaber just said that we learn out that the Teveya goes Strilo. And the Shach says something different. Let's see what the Shach is saying. The Mefarish the Shach, as the Smeng with Parshas Aloshen, as Bezen Hertoy Strilo Vitanis von Teveya, and noch dem Reit von Itva. That's what the Shach says. It means literally, Mi Bal Dvorim Iga Shaleim. Whoever is the plaintiff is starting to talk. And the Shach says, what is the difference? Why? Why do we say that he should talk first? So it says when an afkemine lepoyel, them stein is mehr to schwer. What's the afkemine lepoyel who will listen first? Is in a fall from a moide b'miktsas. It's only when somebody is moide b'miktsas, that is the difference between teveya who starts talking, the teveya or the nitva. And is explaining it. Der Din ist, dass wenn der nicht war Meide b'Miktsas und es mechui b'Shvur do Reise, nur demol wenn sein Oide b'Miktsas kommt noch dem wieder Teveya hat bei ihm gemont den ganzen Schrum. Heute war der nicht war heute benum nachakach tov Teveya bekuf ist nicht gemeide b'Miktsas und ist Poto von der Shvur do Reise. Der Din is very interesting Din. What is the translation Meide b'Miktsas? Meide b'Miktsas means that is admitting some. What does it mean? When you come to Bezen and the guy comes over and the Teveya starts talking and he says, you owe me $100. I gave you $100. And he says, no, you gave me only 50. What does it mean? Is moide b'miktsas. How about if he came into Bezen and the defendant says, you know why he called me to Bezen? He starts talking. He doesn't let anybody talk. He says, you know why he called me to Bezen? Because I owe him 50. And the guy says, no, I called you to Bezen because you owe me 100. It's not a moide b'miktsas. Because he said first, and the other guy said after him. A moide b'miktsas means that whatever you demand from him says, no, I owe you only half. So the Shach is saying that the difference is when is he a moide b'miktsas. So that's why we say that the what's it called? The plaintiff is talking first, Because after he's talking first and he becomes a moide b'miktzvahs, then is the halacha shvur doiraisa. What is the shvur doiraisa? He swears that I took only 50, he gives them the 50 and he's cut off from the other 50. That's the law. But if he was saying that he called me to Bezdin because I owe him 50, there's no shvur. You can't swear because it's not called a moide b'miktzvahs. The Torah specified when is he shvur doiraisa, that's a moide b'miktzvahs. I think it's very well understood till now. It's very geschmack, very understood. The time from the halacha is that the Rebbe is going to explain what is the reason. Der Nitwa hat gedacht, ob zum der Mikzas, was ist moide, noch jeder mit dem Tewerk beim Bebesen. Bald hat nicht getan, was hat gedacht tun, und ist geblieben an Nitwa bebesen, ist der Fahren ist kokeln Tewerk. Chila begdert soll sein, mochri was schwör durch Reiche. Somebody calls somebody to Besen, and if he's going to say, I owe you 50, you're calling me because of 50, it's not going to be a moide beim Mikzas. That's why the Torah says, when you come to Besen, you don't let them talk. Who is talking first? The guy that is demanding the money, the guy that calls them to Besen. Why? Because if you are correct and you say that you owe him 50, why didn't you give him the 50? Give him the 50 before he calls you to Besen. He came to me and says, Rabbi, I lent you money, give me back the money. Give him the 50, and then he's going to call you to Besen, and not going to be a moide b'miktzas. Why didn't you give it? Because you didn't give it, so the Torah tells us that this guy is going to talk first, then he's going to say, moide b'miktzas, that I owe you only 50, then he's going to be mechayev b'shvuah. We want to be mechayev b'shvuah because he did not do what he's supposed to do. He was supposed to give it. Okay. So it's very, very, very simple. The Torah says, mi baldvorim igash. So we learn from that the baldvorim is. What does the shach? The shach is very interesting. The shach says the only nafkemina that we have, if the tevea speaks first or the nitva speaks first, is by a moide b'miktzas. If the nitva is going to speak first, it's not a moide b'miktzas. That's what the Torah says, that I keep forgetting the word. The plaintiff, he should speak. Or some people say the claimant. The claimant, they call him also. Yeah, claimant. Okay. This is still now. Weiter sagt die Gemorre. Wir lernen die Gemorre in Gemorre in Babakame. Warum ich nicht gucken lenitvat chilo? There are sometimes that we do listen to the defendant first. How could it be that we listen to him first? We said now that we're punishing him and we say you can talk, only he could talk because you should be a moide b'miktzas and swear menatrecho. So the Rebbe says, ve'echedome de kozile nichse. When his valuable things is cheap now. Why is it? Is the Shach mevayer. The Shach is is explaining in continuation to what he said before, that only by moide b'miktzas we let always the tevea talk. So he says, Oib die Sibbe verwas der Nitwa hat nicht bezahlt, der Mikzas ist nicht, weil es gekannt Welt verhalten, nur weil in jedem Mal seine Nechassungen billig, oder das Gruppe, was will, sie verkaufen, mit Meirus, sie können abzahlen, was sie gemacht, billig, dann ist Niskokel der Nitwa Trilo. The Shach is explaining that we said, why are we saying that we let them talk first? Because he should be a moide b'miktzas and swear, because he should have paid the 50 that he owes them. Why did he wait till he called you to Bezdin? Here it's a different thing. There's sometimes that there's a reason. He comes to Bezdin and he says, don't let him talk. I don't want to be a moide b'miktzas. I want to talk first. Bezdin says, why? He says, I have a reason. So Bezdin says, okay, let's hear what you say. So he's saying that now I owe him $10,000. We use the 150 because the Gemara uses it. Before it says, oide benun and tove bekuf. So, but now the truth is he owes him $10,000. If he wants to pay it back, he has to go sell his house, sell a couch, sell his field. And this time, it's very cheap. The market is done. Or another reason, he's going to go to shul and he's going to say, I owe the guy $10,000. I want to sell my car. People are going to say, oh, you want to sell your car? You must have the money to give him back. Instead of $10,000, I'll give you $7,000. So that means Zile Nichse could be either the market is done, or because he wants to sell it first, he wants to sell it first. It's just interesting to know. That's what I just said. I said either the market is done or because people are going to hear. After he comes to Bezdin. Okay, fine. And the same thing is it's interesting note. Somebody came to the Rebbe Yechidus and asked the Rebbe what car to buy. So the Rebbe said it's good to have a new car, but a new car is very expensive. So look around and find out somebody that got a new car. After a month or two, he got a job in a different state, and he has to move. אני שמעתי את זה ממישהו ששמע ביחידס. So Rebbe אמר לו, the Rebbe told him, because the guy has to move, he has a better job in our city, the bank wants to take him, he should work in California, so he's selling, after 2 months, the price goes down considerably, so buy it there. Anyway, so we have the idea that there's could be a time that the defendant is speaking first, because he doesn't want to swear, and I let him talk first because he says I can't do it. Okay. Base. Now the Rebbe comes to ask the question on the Shach as we said before. The Geretchen viel more than in alle Yonim in Nigle the Teure Paran Euchen Avoid Ruchnis. Anything that it's in Nigle comes from Ruchnis the King Yonim. Now the Rebbe, Walt, as Teure is Bitchilo given Chem Dog Nuzo, the Gemara Yishabes says the Teure was Chem Dog Nuzo, Lemailo. Umishom, no so be Yodat, and Slav Sheben Yono Lemade, the Alt Rebbe says in Tanya, that this what the Gemara says Chem Dog Nuzo, then it's like traveling, till it comes down Lemato, and it comes down in Yonei Oilomade. comes down to the Shiloi, case at the Regimredes, Shoshnogar Sapor, comes down Mamish Gashmis, the Ken Yonim, from being Chemdo Gnuzo. The Mele, the Yonim is eine Beruchtung, sie wird nicht sein, in der Mokko, von wann sie werden nicht talscheln in Nigle. Noch mehr, kamo in Yonim von Nigle, kämen verstehen, le Tachlisom, nur durch sehr Birren, there are some things that according to Nigle, we have no answer. The Rebbe is indicating in footnote number 9, Likkutei Sichos, there's a few things that the Rebbe said in the Sichos, beautiful things. In Likkutei Sichos, Likkutei Sicha, basically, Parshas say, the famous, what? The famous Sicha, why it says, Keshivne Bais Choros, Vasitza Maike Legagecho. And if you buy a old house, you don't have to make a Maike. Why is the Torah teaching us to make a Maike? Only at the north. That's another thing that I remember now, I mentioned it also then by the Sicha.
I'll buy that too.
Oh yeah? The Rebbe mentioned another thing. Why Yitzchok Avinu was not a young bocher that he needs a shidduch. He was 40 years old. I'm asking you, after 40 years you're not married, 17 days makes a big difference? Why did Eliezer have to have Kvitzas Haderech to Choron 17 days? He's not desperate to get married. What? Very good. So, he could have sent him 70 days before. So the Rebbe brings out a very interesting Kalparuchnisha, but one of the things the Rebbe says, it's not Egeir, just to mention it. Okay, Val Derech Zeh, and the Rebbe comes back to bias also, Ben Yoneinu. The Parshas is the Pirush von Shach, nicht in ganzen Glattik. The Pirush of the Shach is not so simple. From Loshen Razal, it's Kokel Letevea Tchilo. It says Tevea Stam. It doesn't say with Tevea $100 or so Tevea. Sometimes Tevea, somebody made damage in his house. It threw a rock and it broke a window. There's not always something that it could be a moide b'miktsas. The Gemara says, "Niskokin letevea tchilo tevea." It doesn't say tevea momoy. It doesn't say something. It's mashma. This is an Indian kloli. It's talking about in general when somebody is coming to Bezdin asking somebody that he needs something from him. What is an akimine lepoil in kama vekama ifanim von tzvieh? That there could be a major difference in a lot of things. What comes the Shachan says? That the only difference is when Teveya is when it's Moide B'Miktsas. Why is he talking first? Because we want the other guy to be a Moide B'Miktsas. As we said before, this Sma says that there are so many Pirushim on it. But there is, Mechaber said it in one word, he said Teveya Tchilo. That's it. The Pirush HaShach kommt tois, as the Nafkemine Lepoil is not in the Besuk Tviyeh, was the Nitva is a Moide B'Miktsas. The Shach says, when is the Nafkemine, if the Teveya speaks first or the Nitva, only by Moide B'Miktsas. The Rebbe says, it comes out that it has to be by everything should be. Leuten bi opnimi in the Maimar is es aber verstandig, warum bei Moide Ruchnis is Rubam Kekulam von Teveya v'Nitva verbunden mit Moide B'Miktsas. And I'm going to talk in Ruchnis, I'm going to explain the same concept of fear, that somebody is a plaintiff, and somebody is a defendant, and somebody wants yes Yosver, not Sver Reise. You're going to see it in Ruchnis and Yonim, we'll understand because in Ruchnis everything is only Moide B'Miktsas. There's no other thing. So that's why the Rebbe is Mechadesh that it's Take only Moide B'Miktsas, but not as the Shach says, but in Ruchnis and Yonim. Where do we see it?
The Sma here in
I can't hear.
the Sma in over there, he brings other nafkaminas.
It's just a Zebekoi but Zebekoi. Each one brings, all Meforshim brings something different. That the Shach himself says that there's a lot of Pirushim on this thing. And the Sma says, it brings proof to the Rebbe by the end. Mishumoches Sosam HaMechaber, he didn't write Teveya Momoy, he write Teveya Stam, to tell us that it's talking in general. If it's talking in general, why did Shach says that the difference is only by Moide B'Miktsas? Okay, now we're going to go into another thing, we're going to go into the answer about what is the union of defendant and plaintiff. the defendant and the plaintiff by in Ruchnes and Yonet. Heute gilt. Der Teveya von Aiden ist der Yetzerore. Der plaintiff of Aid ist der Yetzerore. Was früher bringt er soll durchfallen in Achet Rachmone des Land. Wie die Gemara sagt immer bei Basre, die wir look in footnote 11, Joire du Masse, Boile o Margis. Usot nu Yetzerore. So the first thing is, he brings Aid to do Avere. Oder al Kopon zur Masse vom Chet Meloschen Chisorn. What does mean Chet Meloschen Chisorn? You did something, but you didn't do it with the full warmth, you didn't do it with the full intention, or you did, and then you could do something else and you didn't do it. As the ray of that is, that when Bathsheba came to David HaMelech and complaining that we learned that after not too long ago, that she said, Ani v'shloim ebni ni echatoim. If Shloim is not going to be Melech, we're going to be Chatoim. What does it mean? We're going to be sin else? No. Chatoim means missing something. That's what it means. So here could be Chet Avere, Chet could be something missing. And then noch is a Teveya. First he comes and he tells you to do the Avere, and then he's coming and he's demanding from you. What is he demanding? As about, hat mit Marshal gewähnt, darf man die Mieten übergeben Lirschusoi. Right? Very interesting. He's the plaintiff. He's coming in and say, oh, you did already the Avere? He's demanding probably by the Eibishter. He's asking him, give him me. I want him to do more Averes. He did already one, give him to my Rishus. What do we answer? What does Aid answer? Let's remember what we just learned. It is answering Moide B'Miktsas. If that's via from Yetzirore is Aid, the Nitva, that is the defendant, is no Moide B'Miktsas. How is it me Moide B'Miktsas? Is nicht so geworden, Achmon el-Slan in Chet. The read is Moide. It says, yes, you're right, Yetzirore. I did Avere. But Akoil, Kulo is aber nicht reingetan in dem Chet. You're asking me Akoil that I'm already, you want me to belong to you because I did Avere? No. The Avere was not done with all my intention, with everything. Moide B'Miktsas. I was not in the Avere with all my might. Nicht mit meinem ganzen Meus, not with all my essence. Sein Etzem an Neshom is B'chal Echa vom Chet. The Etzem an Neshom is Echa vom Chet. They have always learned that the Etzem an Neshom is not being blemished and it's not doing nothing. The Rebbe goes even further. Weil gam b'shas achet oy shebom noitoy, the Rebbe is using the idea what it says, the Alt Rebbe uses it in Tanya, what it says by Esther, that Maimar Mordechai Esther oyso, shoyso b'om noitoy. Even when she was by Chashverosh, she was listening and doing everything Mordechai told her. The Alt Rebbe says, even b'shas achet is oyso b'om noitoy, the neshama is b'om noitoy. Now the Rebbe goes even further. Noch mehr, even more. Afile mitzat seine koiches, not only etzem aneshama, ot jeder rit toiv in sich. Every day stoiv, und noch mehr, afilu poishe Israel melei mitzvahs kerimoy. The Gemara says in Eruven, in Chagige, that each and every Eid is melei mitzvahs kerimoy. Was the Remes Amutzek for melein is noch kipshutoy. What does it mean melein? Melein means they seien in ganzen full mit mitzvahs. They are filled up, they are full with mitzvahs. Das heißt, als wegen was für Eid es soll sich nicht reden, ist bei ihm nicht scheich, die Mitzvahs von den ganzen Ra, Chas v'Sholem. Any Jew that you're talking about, there's no such thing as to say Ra. So again, the Yetzirore is Machshir, is demanding from the Eibishter, give me over this Jew completely, I want to do, he should do more Averes. What is the answering? Moide B'Miktsas. I did. You succeeded. I did something. But, not Kuloi. It's just Miktsas. I did it, but not with my whole essence. Und der Inyen, als alle Tages von Iden, sei a Tzadik, was ein Tzadik Boretz, als Shiyas Tevele Yechto, al Kopon Mechet Melosh Chesorn, there is ein Tzadik Boretz, afile ba Tzadik, there's also something missing. Not a chet, but a chet Melosh Chesorn. Sei a Roshe, Posoich Poishe Yisrael Melemitzes, Kerimin sein in der Prines, von Moide B'Miktsas. Now we come already to the answer of the Rebbe, we have already the highlight, and we have already the Nekude, we have already the Rebbe's Yisod, that here we see everything Moide B'Miktsas. Saya Tzadik, Saya Beinoni, Saya Roshe, and Saya Poishe Yisrael. All of them are Moide B'Miktsas. So that's why we see that the difference, but when Tevea speaks first, is only by Moide B'Miktsas, as the Shach says, but it's a Ruchnes Yonim, nicht in Gashmias. Now the Rebbe is going to go further also. About the Shvue, Moide B'Miktsas is Chayv B'Shvue. What does it mean Shvue? And we don't want he should swear, because if he swear it's not good. The Rebbe is explaining it so beautiful, every detail, the same is by the Gemara. Okay. Saya Rosh Vasorich Posh Yisrael B'nei Mitzvahs Kirim Zayin in the Prine from Moide B'Miktsas. Everybody is Moide B'Miktsas. Is merumet im Posik from Vanet Meler top dem Dim from Moide B'Miktsas al Kol B'Pesha Asher Yom HaKuse. Where do we learn the halacha that the halacha of Moide B'Miktsas? It says in Eintike Parsha, in our Parsha, it says al Kol B'Pesha Asher Yom Ki Hu Zeh. What is it saying? It says it's not what you say. Moide B'Miktsas. Kiuze, not everything, only this. So this I will learn. What is the Pasuk? The Rebbe is going to bring the Pasuk is talking of Pesha. Pesha is the Moired Mamish. Pesha is Pesha Israel. Loit no is that from Pasuk in Avoid Ruchnis. What do we explain it in Ruchnis al Kol Dvar Pesha? Is the Tvie Sai al Kol Dvar Pesha. The same Yetzirah that he is demanding that we should give him over the meat is not asking only by Pesha. He's asking by everybody, he's asking that they should give it to him. The name of Pesha, Moil Rachmon El-Tzlan is an Shlichus Noel Mazeh, and say al Kol Avede. What is Avede? Pesha, al Kol Pesha in Ruchnias is a Pesha. What's Avede? Which is not an anointing from Avede v'Chisor. It's not something that he did wrong. Something that he didn't accomplish 100% what he could have done. Der tut nicht, Rebbe is explaining here in real words as in Yiddish. Tut nicht, wie viel wird gekannt, ob es sein Shlichus. He could have done a little more. But he says, you know what, today I'm tired, I'm stopping already, I'm going to rest a little bit. But if he wanted, he could have done it better. The Meile wird verloren, Rachmon El-Tzlan, erzählt von den Keuches von Chelek ist. If you didn't do what you were supposed to do, it's missing. Whatever you did, whatever you could do, you didn't do. And the fear brought him, what is the four details that we're talking about, when it could be Kiuzeh, is Al-Shoir, Al-Chamoir, Al-Se, Al-Salmo. What is it? Everybody learned Likkutei at the beginning of Vayikro, and the Alter Rebbe brings there the question, why does it say Odom Ki Yaakov Mikem? It should have said grammar. It doesn't make any sense. Odom Mikem, a person from you, Ki Yaakov is going to bring a korban. The Alter Rebbe says, no. The Torah wants to emphasize, yes, Mikem. You bring a korban from yourself. What is it? It says clearly, the fear sugim nefesh ha'ba'amis. Because the fear to call the Pesha Avede. This sugim of the nefesh ha'ba'amis brings you to do Chas v'Sholem either Pesha or the Avede. Is if dit wie es al kol dvar pesha al kol avede, what do we answer? Entwert Ayid, asher yoima ki hu ze. As was we soll bei ihm monnen, is es nur ze, der Mikzas, es nur ameide bei Mikzas Kna. Okay, so we learn very Geschmack. We learn the Chumash, Mibal Dvorim, we learn the Shach, and the Rebbe is asking a question on the Shach. Why do you say that it's only ameide bei Mikzas? The Rebbe says, some things we don't understand, only Ruchnis and Yolim, this is one of them. In Ruchnis, we're going to understand it very well. Because anything that Ayid does in Ruchnis, that Yetzirah comes and he wants to heaven, is the Teveya, and it is Nitva, any kind of Jew, any kind of the greatest tzaddik, till the greatest Poshe Yisrael, all of them is the same answer. What is the answer? Moide b'miktzas. Oh, is that it? Now we're going to come to the next thing. What is next? If you moide b'miktzas, you have to swear. What is the shvuah? In Ruchnis, what does it mean? The Rebbe is explaining it. The psagim von Torah is, as a moide b'miktzas is chayv shvuah. Darf geht durch das Schwur, glaubt man immer auf dem Chelek, was ist nicht beide. What is it? If you swear that the out of 50 that you're asking me, I never did it, you swear by Bezen, so you put up on the 50. What is it in Ruchnis? What does it mean you swear on the other 50 that you didn't do? The Rebbe is explaining it. In Avoid Ruchnis, what does it mean? It means, bald er ist schon durchgefallen und am Mikzas rein in Reshus HaYetzer, he did fall. Yes, he did something, and he's already in Mixas in the Reshus HaYetzer. Da warum hat der Sefes gehört zu abitten sich, also soll mehr nicht da reinfallen, der Reshus HaYetzer. Euch nicht wollen sein, am Moide weiß wie Ruchem. He should not fall in more, and he should not come to the level that he doesn't want to be Moide, and stop, regret why he did it. Und zu lieb dem ist man ihm Masbia. It's not he swearing. Der Eibishter is Masbia. Der Eibishter, what's Masbia lemailo? Shvuah for Loshen Soiva. Everybody learned Tanya, the beginning, the first few words. Tanya besof perek gimel denide masbin no sheti tzadik. One of the Perushim is, when the Neshama comes on lemato masbin. What is it called? Satiating. We give him a lot of koiches. Yes, masbia. We give him koiches. You should be able to fight the Yetzirah in this world. In the Rebbe says it in Yiddish. Mizetik timon. I think that's the word satiating, yeah? Okay. Mizetik timon mit noch und echere koiches. Because you are already moide b'mikzas, the Yetzirah wants to take you in, so we need a shvuah. The shvuah that the Rebbe has to give him koiches, he should be able not to fall in again to the Yetzirah. Und sein zweiter Teil, this F, that he didn't fall into the Yetzirah, is moide b'mikzas. A little bit I did, but not with the whole essence. So bleiben in Reshus HaKdusha. So the Rebbe has to give him more koiches, he should be able to overcome. She says, but Yodua, now the Rebbe is going to come to the point that
opposite, like in the Yashmir, the shvuah is a negative thing. And here it's coming from, you already did the
The Rebbe is going to make it also in a negative. Yes, the Rebbe is going to make it into a negative. We're going to bring on how bad it is to do a shvuah, even an emes. So the Rebbe is going to say, because if you're going to swear, the Rebbe is going to give you more koiches, and you're not going to use it up, So he was bigger avera than before because he took more koiches and he didn't use it. Very good. Okay. So aber yadua, choimer ro'im von hashvua. The Rebbe brings down in Shvuos, Gemara in Shvuos, that it's very, very, I don't know what word to use, choimer. What is choimer?
Severe.
Severity of hashvua. Beim Nehmen of sich hashvua, stellt man, so when you're choimer von hashvua, beim Nehmen of sich hashvua, stellt man sich heim. Yes? That's what I said. You're putting yourself in danger. Why? Oy, when it's not the boy, the koich the Rebbe underline, the boy. If you don't do it, it's supposed to be. The koich is nesofim. The Rebbe is going to give you koich is nesofim because you might have a mixas. Is nicht bloß was bei ihm fällt, was darf zu kommen. Not only with this koich that the Rebbe gave you. You didn't do, but you wasted it. Fällt bloß was, no, es kommt noch einiges, was euch echere koiches gehen bei ihm lieber Rachman el-Islam. So it needs not a punishment because you took the higher level of koiches and you spend them. But this is the time. What?
That is the punishment.
The punishment is
that he's wasting higher credit.
No. He has to be. This is the avere. Then he has to be punished. Yeah. No. Let's again inside. Is this place what by him felt was es darf zu kommen? Not only that he does more because he got more koiches, noch es kommt ihm noch a neunisch. He deserves a neunisch. Why? Was echere koiches gehen beim Lieber because he did higher koiches. Clear, very clear. Was echere koiches gehen beim Lieber Rachman el-Islam. So he has to be punished. That's how I understand. Yeah. Okay. Was das ist der Tam für was Chazal seine stark Mazir bringt dann die Gemara in Gitten mit Rustam Chume seine stark Mazir gegen Gema Shvue dort wo man kann euch kommen on dem viele beim ist nicht bei Bemes Chazal are mamish saying the severity of a Shvue even when it's true try as much as you could not to do a Shvue. I think if I remember correctly, I think when you do a Shvue you have take out a Sefer Torah sometimes you take candles. It's a very what?
The Rambam makes very
yes, very severe about it. Okay. So what happens then? So what do we do now? Now we're going to go back to see what is in the Gemara. What do we do in Gemara? Sometimes is niskokin lenit vatchila. Sometimes you could say to the defendant, you not schwer. You talk before. When is the nitva? When defendant? Yeah. The defendant. When is he talking before? When zile nichse. The Rebbe is bringing out. According, if he's going to swear, it's going to be zile nichse. Or from being busy with the Yetzirah itself for this minute, he's going to come to a point that he's wasting time. Don't have anything to do with them. Go on with life and say that I can't deal with you. That's what the Rebbe is going to say. You're very beautiful. There is idea. In Fall, we say that from the Skokin mit der Trille. When could we say that he should speak first? Was durch dem wird man Potter von dem Eifma bei dir was fordert der Schwur. So then the Rebbe doesn't have to give you the Schwur. And this is when metainet kozile nicht say. What is it? Rebbe is going to explain it in noise. Hey, with a beautiful story in Gemara. And everybody learned that already a lot of times in the Sichos. Wird man das verstehen, wir haben den Bier in dem Sipura Gemara. Gemara tells us that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was it geweint. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was crying before he died. And he said, why is he crying? Because he said, the Rebbe bring quotation, a quote from the Gemara. There's two ways. Acha shel Ganeden, Acha shel Genim. One way is to Ganeden, one way is to Genim. I don't know which way I'm going to go. And he says, I shouldn't cry. That's why I'm crying. So the Rebbe says, it's a very well-known question. Wie kommt es, dass Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, was ist gewesen von der Gdele Tanoim, was von der Gdele Tanoim, it says in Gemara, the Rebbe brings it on in the Aures to look in the Gemara. One of the things that it says, he was tired after a day of learning with Talmidim in himself and exerting himself, learning the deepest that he could. What should he do when he has to rest a little bit? Comes in the evening, he used to go and sit in front of the mikveh. And his eyes were closed because he had, Rabbi Yochanan had very big eyebrows, it covered his eyes. And he wanted to see it, you have to pick it up, he should be able to see it. And there's a story in Gemara that he picked it up with gold. Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Yeah, he picked it up with golden tweezers. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was sitting by the mikveh, and the ladies, when they go out for mikveh to look at him, you remember that?
I don't know.
I think it's Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. It's not Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Oh yeah? Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, ich höre die Kasche, wie kommt es? It was fine enough without it. Der Rebbe Yochanan ben Zakkai was zuerst gewesen von der Gdele Tanoim, und wir Chazal seine bekama mekoimois. I thought this is one of the mekoimois that he brings, okay? The Maflik in the Gadlus von Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Und doch gewesen nicht aber dachten so mehr was sei tief. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai they said they're talking about a lot about his greatness. So a big question. How could it be by a subject to get in Gan Eden or in Gan? What's going on here? Or that verstehen, then there's another question. Why before you die? Einem es ist true, die Schnee droch im Achas Gan Eden, Achas Gan Eden seine Verbot mit Schraboinisch, von der ich aber noch wenn es aber schwer zu verstehen. The truth is that it makes a little sense that he did it then, because when should he do it? Before he dies, the Neshama goes up, either goes to Gan Eden or Gan Eden. The Rabbi says, no, it doesn't make any sense still. She's positive, as those was a certain Beika Geart, in the main idea, we could not say that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was fooling himself and thinking he goes either to Gan Eden or to Gan Eden. No, nicht wenn geht ihm von Schraboinisch passiert. This is not what bothered them, Schraboinisch. No, B'shaychus u'matzovo u'madrigosoi. He was thinking about his situation and his level where he is. Sie gefindt sich in einer Matze von Roye le Gan Eden, Gdusche, oder Chas v'sholem leipich. Es ist doch eine Sache, was man darf sich doch mit Star sein, kolsam, wenn ich das Sofik was nicht nur bis das Aptieren, aber bemäßig von Gassen. You should have worried about it every day in his life. You have to worry about, where am I? Am I at a good place or am I not at a good place? But not before you die. If you think about Schar ve'oinesh, is understood. But Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai didn't think about Schar ve'oinesh. Oizvov, is einer von den Blurim in dem, we're trying to get to the idea of the Nitwa is talking first, right? That he shouldn't be chayev b'shvuah. He comes to Bezin and says, what is it? Ruchnis? This is what Rabbi is coming to explain through the story of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Is einer von den Blurim in dem. The Rabbi says, Blurim in the places that he noted, that there's more Blurim. Yet Nidin is gegeben geworden, here comes the idea, what we said before, the limit from this parsha, how to serve the Eibishter. Yet Nidin is gegeben geworden, Shlichus mit Tafkid, was darf normaler sein, Meshach Chaim Chayus Bal V'Dei. Each and every one has assigned things that he has to accomplish over the time of his life. Kedei zu kennen euch von der Shlichus hat man gegeben, die nötige Zoll Tegum bestimmte Köres. The Eibishter wants you to do it, so he gave you the days, and he gave you the koichos how to do it. Welche seine nötig, ob zu kennen euch von der Shlichus Kedei. How much did he give him? Nicht mehr und nicht weniger. Can come and complain and say, I can't do it anymore. The Rebbe said, no, if you have something that you could do, you have the koyach. And obviously not less. If you have something that you could do, means that the Rebbe gave you the koyach for it. When a Jew is not fulfilling his work in a day, a show, or a rega, 1 second he didn't do what he's supposed to do, or to fulfill his shlichus, is das nicht noch a gesorgen, was nicht in Saale geworden, wie viele die kennt und gedacht. Not only it's lucky that he did not elevate himself to where he's supposed to get, no jeder rega, was tut nicht in sein Shlichus, any second that he's not doing the Shlichus that the Rebbe gave him, and viele wenn tut in an Indian Teuf chodu. The Rebbe brings out here a very interesting thing in a lot of Sichos the Rebbe spoke, that sometimes somebody is choosing what he wants to do, what he likes to do, he's doing. What he doesn't like to do, he doesn't do. The Rebbe is demanding from you not to do whatever the Rebbe tells you, whatever your Mashpia told you to do. Don't choose yourself whatever you like. So he's doing something good, but not what he's supposed to do. So the Rebbe gives him unbelievable words. Afile ben atut aniyen toiv, is busy with aniyen toiv. Says, aber nicht das Sach, was ich shaykh zu sein, Shlichus. This is not what you came to the world for. Fell by him in the Rega b'milu shlichusoi, listen to the words. Oich is a meshane, moyel chas v'sholem b'shlichusoi shel melech, malchem melochem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Gewaltige Wörter. He's a moyel b'shlichus, he's doing something good. It's not what you have to do, not what you could do. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, now we're coming back to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is jeder Rega gewesen im ganzen Vernommen, und reingetan in seiner Avoide b'shlichus. What was it? Limud HaTorah v'Kiyum HaMitzvos. Ist gewesen reingetan mit der Seis Askos in Neusfeld sein Shlichus Kediboi Baal Medein, also hat nicht gehabt Zeit zu aufstellen sich und sich hereintrachten, was tut sich mit ihm, was ist sein Matzufla. The Rebbe asked a question, how come that he didn't think about it every day? Why only before he died? The Rebbe says he was so busy in the Shlichus that any second that he had is serving the Eibishter. He has no time to go think what he is. And the Rebbe is underlining. He didn't have time to think about him, what's doing with him, and what is his situation Bechlal. No time for it. Warum? Wer soll sich aufstellen und trachten wegen sich, wegen seinem Matreges. How could he have time to start thinking about them? Bishat muzo dem zman oisnitz of milish chusay. That was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's problem. Our whole life he didn't think about it. So the question is, why do you think about it before you die? So the Rabbi says, Tavke samoch leptirosoi, before he passed away, when he gehalten bei verrendigen sein Shlichus Baal Medein, he was already ready to finish up his work. Mamish is going to die now. What a mafsi given? Then he stopped, and the Rebbe is telling him very beautiful on footnote 31, maybe it's the same thing the Rebbe says le'oir, maybe the same thing as the Gemara says in Shabbos about David HaMelech. How did he die? He stopped learning. There was a reason, the Sotan, the Yitzrore, Rabbi Bar Nachmani in Gemara B'Mitzi also, Sherak Shigia Ispirosom, the Malach HaMavis could have stopped him from learning. Maybe it was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai also the same thing. Our whole life he didn't have the time. He was busy every second do what the Rebbe wants. It came to the Otamavshigi when he stopped from learning, Kedei to machen dem Cheshbon Tzedek. Then, Borum, im lo yachshav emosai.
120.
Yes, like Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah.
Und das hat bei ihm Arosh gerufen die Priya. Now we understand why Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was crying. So we're coming to a point already
what
that...
What does it help now to make a cheshbon? What does it help now to make a cheshbon? Cry.
Part of machen cheshbon, no?
Was part?
What happens if he doesn't make the
cheshbon? He has to also do that Aveda too. His whole life he couldn't do it. Now it's time to do it.
Yes.
It's a very good question. I don't have the answer. Very good question. Why do you need it?
The only answer is in
something that is missing. If you're not doing it now, it's not going to be done.
Part of your Aveda is to make a cheshbon. You have to make a cheshbon. You have to do it sometime. But that's if you're not like a Yochanan ben Zakkai, that you don't have.
He doesn't have what to fix. So he doesn't need a cheshbon. Okay, it's a very good question. We have to ask somebody who must clear what it is.
Part of your Aveda is rules to make a cheshbon. You have to do it before he passed away. Not because in order to make a better word.
Yes. Huh?
Ich habe die ganze Zeit gedacht, Teigerin in sich, aber es ist gar keine Zeit. Ich habe gestoppt, aber jetzt. Ich gehe als Mann.
To think, where is it? But you know what? Cheshbon was maybe to say, if he did everything is it supposed to be or not.
Yeah,
but why? What's the difference? Tshuva is going to help now. If he dies.
Now.
Okay. That's the idea of Vidui to do Tshuva. And you know that it's interesting, in Vidui, I remember doing video with a few people when I was in Atzole. So it says there's something interesting word. It says that the Yitzror comes the last second before somebody dies and he tries to give him in his head that there's some svekis in Emunah. And this is with video to overcome it. Yeah. It's interesting. What? Yeah. To die with svekis in Emunah.
That's what it says in the last days. They've out in his sign. That's mentioned a few times.
It's very dark. I'm not sure about the thing.
Now we're going to go in. Now we're going to go into answer. We're going to go into answer what's the idea of mitzvah. The defendant is going to speak first. It shouldn't have to be a swear, because if you swear you could be in trouble because you're not fulfilling what you did and you're even wasting more ayah koichos. Now we're going to go into also a new different thing to bring out the idea of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai as we have to apply it to our life. That is not there. Rabbi Yochanan was not there. He didn't think about himself, only about his avoide and about the Eibishter. And it goes into a very interesting thing, going into the Maimar. The Rebbe said, it says by the end that it's taken from the Maimar, the Shem Shakelot of Shin Yud Beis. And as we know, as we were little kids, even we heard that this Maimar took the old Chassidim of the Rebbe Rashab and the Friedrich Rebbe, and this broke the ice, and they saw the Rebbe was crying by this Maimar like a baby. The Rebbe was sobbing. The Rebbe couldn't talk. What? Yeah. Very good. Yeah. I didn't want to say names. Yes. Yeah.
What?
We had to bring Yud Shvat with the Zenikum.
And
he said it. Yeah, I remember it from Torah Semes that they said that this took them. This Maimar. I think it was here.
He was here.
He was by the Maimar. Yes. Okay, so we're going into this Maimar. Where is Zion?
Should have been anything.
Okay. Oder Oifen im Maler sein die Sichos. Es Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, also tracht nicht wegen sich, nur bloß wegen die Shlichus. I'm not something here. I am doing the Shlichus, that's it. It's not me. It's an Indian Ikri ve'Klolin, the Rebbe says it clearly. It's a very foundational Sicha. The Sicha is a foundation of how to serve the Eibishter. An Indian Ikri ve'Klolin avodas Hashem. It's a main point in serving the Eibishter. Was wird gemont zu jeder Ried. It's demanded by each and every one. יש לו מה das ist euch merum so mutig im Pnim ist euch Psukim die Alon in der Reintige Parsh we have it in today's Parshas Mishpotim also how we have to do the avoide as we just said that he is doing the shlichus it's not him it says noch die Werte warten mit Savaile Kechem was damit wird gemeint Klolosin avoide it says warten mit Savaile Kechem what does it mean serving the Eibishter Klolosin avoide what's Klolosin avoide two things side avoide von Ave the avoide of Ave. It says in Zoya, the less pulchane ke pulchane der Chemuse. There's no avoide. Pulchane is avoide. Toiling, walking, as Rechemuse is ave. Side avoide von Ire. This is avoide as evet. What is the posik right after that? Is the posik mamshich le'shie meshakelo ve'akoro be'artzecho es mispar yomecha amale. There's not going to be somebody who is going to be miscarriage and ve'akoro doesn't have kids. Yeah. So it's not going to be in the Rebbe says it's mispar yomecha amale. Meshakelo ve'akoro in avoide ruchnis. What is it in avoide ruchnis? Here is already from the Maimar. As the avoide von Ave ve'ire ot nicht kin kiyum v'telodes. Yes, Ave ve'ire, but it doesn't have a kiyum. Like miscarriage, and it doesn't have a telodes. There's no kids. And the shiba of them is what is the reason? So it says let's see mishakelo ba'akoro. Why is the mishakelo ba'akoro? The artzecho. This is the main point why you have it. From Loshon Rotzen brings down from Bereshit Rabbe that artzecho is Loshon Rotzen. Shirotzel atzes rotzen koino. Always we know that artzecho is in of Rotzen. Pshal saidot aneginem Rotzen. Asvi is rotzen von seiner Weide. Yes, number one is eigenem rotzen. Is rotzen what to do, what not to do. And he's satisfied. He goes around and he says, I'm doing everything we need. Yes, Asvi is rotzen. He's happy. He's fine with himself from his Avoide. But those weiß, dass ist magisch sein Metzius. How does he feel his Metzius? The Rebbe underlined. Is over dabei. I am over dabei. Rotabe veire. Das kann goyim sein, also noch Europa al Chas Shalom. If you do according to your rotzen and you're satisfied from yourself, this brings to Meshakele V'Akor. Das heißt, früher sein Avoide mit der Medide V'Akbole. What does it mean? It's limited and with boundaries is Avoide? Because it does as much as he should ever know from himself. That's enough. Wie viel Ort von seiner Avoide, als wir es rotzen. Und noch dann bringt es dazu, also macht der Chelek zwischen einer Avoide und einer zweiter. Die Menschen bevor. Number one is his avoid lechatchile with limitations. He does as much as he feels. Oh, I did already. I'm fine. Then it comes to a lower level that he's going to do only what he likes. The avoid in welcher rotachush is a great stone. Something that has a geschmack, something that he likes. Everybody has his likes that he like. But nicht another sug avoid. Something else he doesn't want to do. Bizer is neufel madrigos chulu. So others that meshakelo v'akoro, artzecho is the main problem. What is the eitzeh? Is the eight as they see a goymer? What do we do? It shouldn't happen. It's mispar yomecha amale. Shas. What does it mean mispar yomecha amale? You have to sit down and meditate in the words mispar yomecha amale. The days that I'm giving you, I'm going to fulfill all your days. What does it mean? Shas erich misboinen. He's meditating. As yomim yitzoro. David HaMelech says in Tilim yomim yitzoro. There are days that you were created with a special certain amount of days. As is im bestimmt geworden am Mispar Mesuim von Tagen, welcher darf euch für sein Schliches Balmedei. He has specific days that he has to fulfill it. Jeder Rega, was vernutzt auf etwas anders, is a Meshane. Any second that he's doing something else, even if he does something good. So he's changing, and he's doing a Meile in the Sichos von Melech Malcham Lach HaKadosh Baruch. Anybody knows the translation of Meile? What? Deviation, you think? Samoyel, what's Samoyel Be'egdesh? I think it means more desecrating. Sure, much more. Deviate is just moving away, desecrating. Okay. Is a Meshane Bageit Ameile. Git er sich hat Reis.
Meile is deviation. Mechale is desecration.
Aha.
Meile pshat.
What's it Moyel?
It's
used Egdesh, you're not allowed to eat it, and he ate it. Okay, all right. The season is the deviation. Okay. Okay. So if somebody is meditating, and he comes to the conclusion that every second is valuable, and if he didn't do 1 second, he did something good, but not what he wants to do, so the Rebbe says, Gita sich hat Reisel. He's being shooked up. Und verliert dem Ärger für sein Metzies. It brings him to lose his Metzies. Wird also reingetan mit seinem ganzen Metzies im Schluss. What does he do then? It goes in with his all life, with his all essence, into do the Shlichus. As feels nicht so viele, as the Memale von dem Eberschen Shlichus, he doesn't feel that he's doing it. He's so busy with doing it that he doesn't feel anything. Says bei ihm nur die Shlichus Gufadrabe. Bishazmen proved him der Mann wegen Arzecho. Somebody comes in and tells him, Arzecho, wegen sein Matzev Ruchni. Somebody comes and tells him, wegen his Matzev Ruchni. Comes and tells him, what are you doing? Where do you live? How do you do the Shlichus? Answer. You know what he answers? With very broken heart, with a Zerbrochenkeit is answering. What is answering? Was mir rotzen oder Teinung? What are you talking about rotzen with Teinung? She's doch Yomim Yitzoru. I have special days that I have to do. I have time to think about mine. Where am I? Darf ich stehen ala Mishmor. I have to be, like a guard. They say that the Rebbe and the Rashak, that's what they, I don't know where the Mocker, saw the Rashak coming down every Friday night and sitting to Uno all late in 770. It was a condition that they shouldn't sleep Friday night. The Rebbe explained once, why not sleeping? Because Shoimer Shabbos. Yeah? If you are God, how could you go to sleep? If you sleep, you moil b'shlichus. You're not doing your job. Anyway, so the Rebbe says, you have to stay ala mishmo, you have to be always on guard. As kein ein Rega soll nicht verloren werden und nicht trachten wegen Matreges. Yes, I did, I'm happy, I'm not happy, I did it, I didn't do it, this is nothing here. Bishas Aid poil bei sich die Weggegebenkeit und bitte bechol Mutzoi zu Dwögersten und sein Schlichus. When Aid has the effect on himself, that he's giving away himself completely, I'm not here, I'm doing what the Rebbe want, that Mekuyem, es Mispar Yomecha Amalei, it's a Loshan Avtoche. That Rebbe is going to fulfill all your days and your years. What is the Avtoche? Number one, you're going to have long life. Number two, the Rebbe says Maftiach, something very interesting. The Rebbe says Maftiach you, es Mispar Yomecha Amalei. God forbid there was days that you didn't do. Before you came to the conclusion. The Rebbe says,
you're going to be fulfilled. He's going to be fulfilled. He's going to for the past.
I talk about the past. If there was a time that you missed a day, you missed a minute. If you're doing it in a way that you're not there, you're doing as much as you could, the Rebbe is going to fulfill it. That's what the Rebbe says clearly. The number one, he says, afilo über seinen gewähnten Tag, in welcher nicht getan sein Schliches, there's days that he didn't do, oder afilo getan in Yonum shel Eipech, Rachmon el-Islam. He did the opposite. He's just Mispar Yomecha Amalei, and it says, very interesting, it doesn't say, Ani Hashem Amalei es Yomecha. It says, es Mispar Yomecha Amalei. No names. Atzmusse Musse is Borach. Das ist echt von jedem Shem und von dem Azezelonri Rabgam. It's such a high level that it's Atzmus Meus, there's no Yud Kevavke, there's no Elikim, no names. It's Ayah on everything, and even Abgam, a blemish doesn't even touch them. He's Maftiach. Also wird mit alles Maschel seine zerfällte Tag und alle seine Tag werden sein ganz Bishleimus. Oisches. Das ist euch der Biopnimi in der Aloche. Now we're going to come back. You didn't answer the last thing. What happens if the Yitzhak comes and says, and you say, Moide b'miktsas? Moide b'miktsas, you have to swear. So now we're going to come back to say that there's a time that we say that the Nitva could talk first, and then he doesn't have to swear. Where do we see it? Das ist der Biopnimi in der Aloche, als im Fall von Kolzile Nechse, when is valuable, when the market is done, and he can't sell it now because it doesn't pay, is when Potter von der Schwur, the Moide b'miktsas. What is it? The Rebbe explaining it. Die Jungen Keuchers, was der Rebbe geht Aiden durchzuführen, sein Schliches Baal Medein, dort einen den Nechosim von Aiden. This is your thing. This is your Nechosim. This is your field. This is your valuables. Is Bishas Aid Poel Bazich, dem Bittel Betachles, as ein ganzer Metzies, is no was das schwer zu verhebersten. Yeah? Came to a conclusion that Aid had to come to say, es Mispar Yomecha Amalei, that the problem is, Leisei Mishakele Bakoro, the problem is the Arzech or the Rotzen. You think about yourself. So it's Mispar Yomecha Amalei, when you come and you think that there's Yomim Yitzoru, every second is valuable, you have to use it. Sein ganze Zeit und alle Keuche seine Vernumme mit Ton, dem Obersten Schliches, is completely overgiven to his Schliches. What is it? Lashes Leis Baruch Dire Betachtoinim, as the Rebbe created the world because Nesava Kodesh Baruch Hu, he wanted to have Dire Davke Betachtoinim, or Tabamele can cite in Sugein of Adin Teure mit Yetzerore. He doesn't have time to go to Yetzerore. So what is he? He's talking before, so even talking with the Yetzirah is not a time. So he doesn't have to swear, because Shvuah is going to bring him Chaz v'Sholem in case he doesn't do it. It's not going to be not only that he didn't do, but he took Ayah Koichas and he wasted them. Warum oive wird die Zeit, the time that he have, and the Koichas is going to use it to have a debate with the Yetzirah, zile nirset. This itself is going to be, as he mentioned before, is here? No. He left? He mentioned before that this itself, talking to the Yetzirah, makes it zile nichse that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. In Ruchnis, wer doch sein zile nichse, das man bekoichos, der Rebbe bringt ab in der Ore, lo yom pirush abeit berashe, lo bekame, vezile nichse, shkarkoisov zolois al edei tvie zu. People there that there's a tvie is going to be zile nichse. Same thing also. Yeah. Just with talking with them, it makes zile nichse. Das man bekoichos, was der Rebbe hat ihm gegeben, weil wir billig, nicht euch genest auf Dvorim achie korim, he's not using it of the most precious, most important, the most valuable things. Don't even have anything to do with them. Don't debate. Always be saying that debating with the Yitzhak is not good. It has to be Kabbalah Sol. Kabbalah Sol is azoyon ishtandos. That's what I'm going to do. Because if you're going into a debate, could be sometimes that he's going to win. Also, der Pfarrer nimmt man on sein Teine, we take his Teine of Moide Bemiktas, he's saying it before the Yitzhak comes. Und spot von der Schwur, he doesn't need the koiches to give him. Warum nicht noch ist man sicher, also nicht rein von der Schusse schla jetzt doch schon, he doesn't need the Schwur, he doesn't need the koiches. Because Rabbi says for sure, if the guy walks in this way, is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is not going to fall into the Yitzhak. No other Rabbi, as the time is Mishpotim Yemecha Malei, the Rabbi is going to fulfill the days that you didn't do. Also ich das was hat früher verfehlt, mit dem Smadebergen bis Schleimus.